turn to page 7 of the prayer book, please. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha in the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha. Until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha in the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha. Until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path of sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who were liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage. To all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms, in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protector's heart, to tip of this fresh, pure, white heap, curd-like cloud, O Lobsang Drakpa, Dharma's omniscient king, pray come to this place with your disciples. In space ahead, on lion throne, lotus and moon, Venerable Guru, smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit, field for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, fame, glory, outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings, bestowed and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit. Non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted 3 vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned mundane concerns, made life essential. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable Gurus, from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make Venerable Lobsang Drakpa's essential teaching specially shine forever. Migmet Sewe Te Chen Chen Rezik Ri Me Kempe Wang Po Jom Pel Yang Du Pung Malu Jom Se San Wei Dang Gang Chen Kepe Sugen Tsongkhapa Lop San Trape Jabla So Wadeb. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seed of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seed of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seed of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remains steadfast. Homage to the exalted 3 jewels. Thus have I heard at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomenon called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the 5 aggregates also. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, should look perfectly like this. subsequently looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty, without characteristics, that is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no I element, and so forth, up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance, and so forth, up to no aging and death, and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom. Because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering since it is not false, be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed, Tayata gate gate peragate perasongate bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the host of the three places Dakinis, Akasamarasa. Tayata om gate gate peragate perasongate bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels speech, may all on the side of negativity such as the four maras be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, shante kurye soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions. May all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here, right now. Saji Peki Jun Shin Meta Tram Ri Rabling Ji Ni De Genpadi Sange Jesu Lama Dampa Genam Ki Kala Kien Setrindrine Jitar Sampe Dulce Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami. Chonda Songi Chomnala Jaju Pardu Dagdi Kepsuchi Dagi Chonyen Gepe Sonam Ki Drola Penchir Sange Drupa Sho. Chongde Songi Chomnala Jaju Pardu Dagdi Kepsuchi Dagi Chonyen Gepe Sonam Ki Drola Penchir Sange Drupa Chongde Songi Chomnala Jaju Pardu Dagdi Kepsuchi Dagi Chonyen Gepe Sonam Ki Drola Penchir Sange Drupa Sho.
Okay. Good morning. What's that? Oh? Gold bun bunny. Thank you. Okay, what means Easter? What means?
The Lord has risen.
Huh?
It's the resurrection of Jesus.
Resurrection? Does he come back?
In the
How they?
in the Christian tradition,
Yeah.
it means that the Lord, Jesus was put to death on Good Friday, which was this past Friday.
Okay.
And supposedly he was laid to rest for 3 days, but today is the day that is marked as the day that he rose from the dead and ascended.
Then what happened?
Then what happened,
After?
he was seen by many of his disciples and followers, having come back from the dead.
Okay.
And then upon that basis, much of Christianity was founded, because then people believed that he was the Christ.
Oh.
One more important piece, though. When he died, he went to hell in order to take the punishment for everybody's negative actions.
Okay.
And then then he arose from that. So basically, he's purifying for you, like all your negative actions, if you ask him to.
Okay. We have Tibetan also one tradition that Nelok 사이죠. 주권이.
Like a medium, a person who can tell about, who when somebody from your family dies, and then the person can tell, oh, he is born in such and such a place, and he's thinking of this, he's thinking of that, and all these things. That's what he had when he died. The people don't know how he died and what he was thinking when he's dead, so he can tell you, right? So like that, what do you call a medium?
Yeah, it's called
Yeah, like that.
Like that kind, like when I was Tibetan, especially the Nyima tradition, also they more explain like that. But the text here, this is not true. They say, this is a karo, dinalamdo. Ta tirirangan sol chia dinamdo. Kaji te yomar te taji maiji. And mamaiji jitin power hilwashi pares. Mamaya jitin power hilwashi ne chirema. Tungone te yomares. Beshindim tishas. 내록사드. 가지 내록사인도가 뭐 가지 신부 순비값이 남바다 체제 ndawaje 보도 슌두반 텐다 아니 랭커바다. 근데 저랑서 바와 아마가 시샤스. 아니 그 춘들이 제공된 그거 대샤스 때마지는 아니 그 야보용사 말스 징하동 직시에는 지야 랭커를 루소지다. 디나를 때요 말했을 때 디불 때 랍샤스. 너무 별루스데 시에게. 마치 니마가 주지도도 마시 그래. 내록사드. 때 요요스가 뭐네가는 나도 별이야 미카시. 근데 니마 숨세지래야. 다 가지 니코다로. 야야 손에 마카시 내가 손스. 안된데 도스트 신이 요르데 단다 요요스. 때 간에다 니나라나 고 지금 마마야 내가로 랍샤스.
Koshiyama desu.
그 시험을 건너에 말았어.
오늘 Koshiyama 다 시오로 잘.
시원을 고마마이 같이 넘어도 잖아. 디나라는 될랍도.
So in Tibet, they used to, also in some time, and in the Nyingma tradition, Nyingma is like the old, the Buddhist tradition that came to Tibet, right? So in that tradition also, they used to talk about somebody who have died. Like say, somebody died, and then he said he was, dead for 3 days, and then he came back, and then he said, oh yeah, I went to this place, I went to that place, and then I did this and that, and then I came back from that, like that, But in this text, that we're going to study, we're studying now the liberation in the palm of your hand. It says that's like a harm from a non-human, like a spirit or demigods. It's a harm from that, cause person to feel like he's dead, but he's not really dead. And then he had all these visions like that.
아무도 지록시다. 드링한테 사진이 봐. 신의 버드 들으셔야 돼. 사실 섭식 가와이나.
제가 들어가가지고.
단다지 록셔나 듣는 시위카라 자송. 신의 버드 들으셔야 돼.
So then in this section where we stopped last time,
When you die,
after you die,
the image or the
so how do you
Intermediate
go into the intermediate state?
yeah.
Right? It talks about that.
What page number?
How there.
Page 476.
Which
What
week?
happens at death? Is that what one?
What happens?
Yeah.
What's there after that?
Happens at death? Or what after that is the way one achieves Bardo?
Yes.
Yeah, check the pardo.
Before 78.
Yeah. So it's a outline 411. Is it 411?
305.
Oh, 305.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Pardon.
Okay. Yeah.
Everyone got it? Just we can read, then you can also see them. I think this looks special for relative to today's special day.
But,
Yes.
so the point I don't think is that he went, it was that he went there to save people, not to have this experience of seeing, but so that when he returned, people followed the teachings of Christ, they would not be born, they would purify the negative karma so that they wouldn't create negativity. So that was really the point.
Yeah.
Coming back, and not just to go and see what's down
Oh, yeah, it sounds like that, but it's a some texts we ought when Buddhism also we said you die, then go to the where they come back. But like according to this text, this is not.
You can't come back, yeah.
You can't come back. You can come back, bring the same person. We believe, you die or you come back, that's another person, you different life, different form, but not same form. Like Devara die, couple days come back, same Devara's body. It's like the Jesus cross like that, right? First is Jesus cross, die, they come back same body. But here usually also we say you die, same person, same body, 3-4 days, like 7 days also you go. Then you carrying the message from the people who the other realms, maybe hell realm, angry, low realms. Then they're giving the message for the family members. Okay, one of your family members that is this place, he or she looking for this kind of marriage also merit. So merit. Then the family, okay, you have to say 100,000 times pray wheels or pray flags. Then maybe 10 times animal liberation. You say or one time recite the Ganjur. Like this, people give the line, the message. I knew that, but according to the text, it's not true. Therefore, we can read this.
How do we know about these girls that they don't come back? How do we know about them?
Huh?
How do we know about them that if people can't come back and describe them?
그래서
먼저 그래서 하고 그랬는데 대 가서 먼저 배는 야와다 이다 돼서 요 간에 하고 그랬어. 믿어서 바도네. 건조 지금 술래네. 건조기 마시나?
Let's do it. 다 산지가 송요한다 당가도 쇼치는 이치친다 그래. 쇼니니 나도 빼샤나 치반 나지면 대단 라고다 대상도 통해야 된다. 될 납쪽으로 왔어.
Yeah, because somebody has seen it and that person has explained it, so that's why we believe in it. We can't go ourselves there, right? We can't go ourselves there and find out. And so somebody who has seen it, has explained to us, and then we believe that. So like Buddha, right? So Buddha said that, and we believe in Buddha. And then, of course, we don't just believe in Buddha with the eyes closed, but we believe in because of the reasons, right? So other reasons, and also not only that, but also we can see, things like Buddha has explained, about the animals, and then the hell realms. Like we say hell realms not far away. It's something that we can see. In this life, in this planet, somebody who's going through extremely terrible sufferings, we can recognize that as a hell.
pena chunzo thoyo namji ta tisanga zo pena parche da mak samela bala phone yore chikando da parjap te youtube luksha yoro tisanga da do pena ta sharshola pane mitene ya pena papa da chizo ya mashi kana chutawo lu ani mashi podo mashi chi ani semje nyadre ya pipi phawana dogi sagdo ya dogi sagdo 다나 지금도 다 루마데는 랍스터세데 고 마신 말로 그러는데 다 단소 냐라 단소 레다 텔라 냐와도 가도 사고도 하신 거 해가도 저 소책임도.
So nowadays, you see everything on the YouTube, right? People put a video of how the animals are killed, like and animals they would skin them while they're still alive, and then throw them or barbecue them while still alive, and some they like boil them, while still alive. And then there's some like worms or some kind of fish, they eat them. They're still alive. When they're eating, they're chewing it, and the animal, this fish is still alive in their mouth. So that kind of things. Those are the hell, right? Otherwise, if you look for hell somewhere else, somewhere under the ground somewhere, you will not find it.
And the bewandelea bewa shiomada bewa kubleya jubatsu, bewa paderda, and the pig comes barbecue cheto.
And then the frog, when they barbecue frog alive. They stick the barbecue first, and it's still alive, and then you pierce the stick inside it, and it's still alive. It's moving, struggling, and then while it's still alive, and then you throw it. They see it, and they show it all this in the video, right? So that's how we find out. We've never seen that ourselves, but we see somebody who has videoed that, and then through that we can see that this is really hell. That's a hell, right? That's really.
ngadu dawa dawa pena animal shelter da chido shimido zo konjo kamba chu na de da shokchini da ko da buja yo kishar wa da shoni ni kanji kamba chu jin zai men da kanji ke jaga to ko dunga yo tarwa.
So also the animal shelters here, they have like very small cages, where there are stuff inside. In one way, the animal shelter is for rescue an animal, but on the other side, they're like trapped in those small cages, and they're like crying and wailing all the time to be free from that. So those are like kind of a hell.
다나지 다도 ngazo 미가 나사 차야게 체드 벤나 득득실이야. 가서 dunga 저 득득.
I'm just like that, like in order to find a cure for human disease, how we, torture the mouse or guinea pigs and things like that, right?
어떤데 다 등소 냐라 당가도 냐라서 다 땡가도 미가 냐라 가버스나 다 냐라 데리던 데시잖아 딱 답되로.
So if somebody asks, where's hell, then we can, that's a hell. If you explain that's a hell, then it's easy to understand. Maybe.
And location 정보를 보셔 손소. 아니 냐가 도지 대세야 돼. 도지 되는 망가서 빠생 앞자잖아. 냐라 도지 될 레고 생각도 나 배션도 또 요래서. 근데 근데 단달만 빠지잖아. 바지 아프리카도 올랜다 그래서. 손소. 이나 감존 될 라야데 배나 사찬도 근데 못해지나 밀때스. 다지 언냐라서 요래다 랍샤나 코시라 소음 섬에 시험 받아 왔지. 단냐라서 사전 내려질라. 드신 내려질라야. 지 쏟다 내려지어서나 야 밀지 빠르도 샤요 트레이먼도 줘. 빠지도 섬에지 대신도 샤야지.
And so that in the hell it talks about explaining, talks about the sufferings that beings go through, right? Kind of suffering. And it's not like there's one place where they accrue the kind of sufferings like that. But wherever even in this world, when they're going through that kind of suffering, then that's a hell. Can explain. So, but when it's explained in the text, like there's a place like that, mountains crashing you because of you have crashed animals or somebody, and beings in this life here. Now, as a result, you'll be born in hell and you will be crashed all the time, like that. That kind of thing, just to give you a picture of where the hell is and what the hell is like that. But actually, those suffering that we see is the real hell. In the text, of course, it says, you have heard about Vajra hell, right? Vajra hell. It says the Vajra hell is like 500,000 miles or something. You say that Yojana is like, I don't know, maybe 500 arm span. Like the arm span, and there's like one Yojana, and then like 500,000 Yojana below, Bodh Gaya stupa, and Bodh Gaya, is the Vajra hell. And then nowadays, like if you dig, like 500,000 Yojana, you'll come up, to maybe New York or somewhere. From Bulgaria, if you dig, then you will come into New York, or somewhere, So then, so you will not find the Vajra hell there, so you will not find it. So therefore, I don't know, maybe wherever you see that kind of terrible, extreme sufferings, you can consider that as a hell.
이나 먼저 단다 어떻게 친구들 가려는데 친구들 거는 매일 생도 왔어. 사도도 친구들
The
거는
core, or what do you call the earth? Core, right? That's like a whole fire, right? The whole thing is a fire.
제가 때 산지 좀 전에 내가 산야다 요새데 장야 사고를 이렇게 좀 말다. 장야세데 네 오요세데 거는 인사로 다녔어. 그 뭐니
So like when you talk about the hell, hot hell, if you're born there, your body will be inseparable from fire. That's what it says, right? The hot hell, the earth, there's like 8 hot hell. The earth hell here, the hell without respite. And that if when you're born there, like your body would be, like inseparable from fire. And people when you look at fire, the beings there, you think it's a fire, but the beings are there, being burned all the time. And so maybe, Buddha, when he explained about that, and under the earth, maybe that's like the core of the earth, where it's like fire all the time.
어떤데 다 남중 한중원에 여러 세대 빠지 오사고 오토바이서 산데 대빠지 노래사 대문에 따다니서 말이야.
So to think like, somewhere under the ground, where the hell is, I think maybe is mistaken.
봐봐. 대가서 남중 가서 강을 놓으셔. 대대 문에 인사 대령 가서 민 도대야 배나. 배나 예다 놓으셔나 양식 다 저거 첨보에 봐 뭐버시 가서 배전 들라고 때 시당 때인데 요디 요서로 왔. 이나다 배나 샘제 가시 배나 릴레 되는 샘제도 또 공간나 클라스에 말아 실로다 뭐 보여로 왔. 다뭐 보. 배나 샤시고도.
So those kind of beings, who are going through extreme sufferings of like being burned alive, like hot hell and cold hell, like those things, And then a hungry ghost also, like we talk about hungry ghosts, then we describe the shape of the beings, the hungry ghosts, who have a big head, big bellies, and the throat, like neck, size of a needle, and all these things. And so that's true. Like I give us example of how extreme suffering, of hunger and thirst there is. But then also there are beings, also human beings, right? Then you can find some place, where they don't find any food, not even a drink and a drop of water for a long time, and they're still alive. They're like going through so much suffering, but still alive. Same with some kind of animals, up in the mountains. They suffer so much, from not finding enough food, or and they're like very skinny, down to bone, but still alive and experiencing, going through all those sufferings, right? So that kind of beings you can consider as a hungry ghost.
배나 미 다도 모습이 샘체 싫어도나 바지 다 게네시나 바지 강한 게 싫어.
And so the animals, like that, the wild animals, not the domestics. The domestics are owned by people, as unwanted, by people. Those animals, most of them, when they die at old age, they all die of starvation. They couldn't find a food for themselves, and then they eventually die of starvation.
그래서 다 사냐가라 정원이가 되네 밥배시나 미 고대와 답대야. 아니 semla shabdaido was.
And so when we talk about the hell realms, and the hungry ghost realms, and like it is described in the book, maybe it's easier to like picture it, imagine it,
Okay, this makes sense. Otherwise, we something very far over. Maybe how can we go under the ground? That today, patient I tell you that Yanko, when the patient has someone trying to do the mumbo was.
So it is explained like that in the text, but then there's also, you have heard about definitive meaning and interpretive meaning. You have heard about that term, definitive meaning and interpretive meaning. So it's, definitive is just like it is said, and the interpretive is not just like it is said. There is some, hidden meaning from there. You have to find out.
Okay. Okay. 당가도 통문대 지록시다. 되는 체인데 단다. 난도. 반대 접set.
So, going back to that text,
What
liberation in the palm of your hand, the outline 307, right? Oh no, 305, sorry. So let's read that part, just that outline. The will when achieve the pardo, like the swinging of an arms of a balance, your present incarnation ends simultaneously with the physical form of the preliminary incarnation. This refers to the phenomenon that resembles the aggregates of your next rebirth. The next rebirth or incarnation wherever it may be, is processed. Some people claim that the dead lie in the Pardo, there's a custom they have been where they lie, and there are ways of sending message to them. This is a fallacy. It is possible there have been one or two source sightings, but they are not dead person. They are said to be some creature making the form of the dead person, done to deceive ordinary worldlings. Geshe Pabonka Rinpoche refer here to the story from J. Milarepa's biography about the death of a head of Pempo family. Pardo beings have all their spiritualities and their things except for sacred reliquaries or their birth sites, pass away. The Pardo beings who are to be reborn in hell are the color of burnt log. Beings to be reborn in the hungry ghosts are of the watery color. Those about to become animals are small colored. Those about also desire realms are the color of fine gold. Those about to become form realm there is no Pardo for beings taking rebirth in the formless realm. The Pardo incarnation state appears as black night to the virtues. The state appears as night punctuated by the white spirits of colors. Many claims that have been made about the lifespan of Pardo beings, usually said to be 7 days of the generation of those in the next life. After these 7 days, Pardo beings undergo small death, and they can have up to 7 such small deaths before birth.
Okay. What kind of shape the intermediate Pardo? What kind of shape they say English?
What kind of shape?
Yeah.
Like a phantom, they said.
What means?
There's no real shape. It's just kind of like a blob, like a form.
Shayechen.
Almost like
A phantom.
But in the shape of what they're going to be.
a wisp.
Right.
Yeah.
Wisp of air, smoke or something.
Yeah, like air. Yeah, and this is like true. Yeah. Onganzo 나중에 되는다고 이렇게 자가했어. 가지고 죽처럼 아주 통하네. 아니 가지 온복한 상에 온복을 차상에 들어와 봐. 아니 지금 다나 지금 진조에 되는 가와는 좀로 되는. 아니 수질이야. 만도나다 눈반도 고마신 건로도 말아. 아니 대 바도도 놓고서 소소 깨월내서도 말래 발래는 가와는 로팅이 되지 고트용 거서로.
So yeah, this is how it is explained in the text here, like a phantom you said. And so just like of a smoke, but it has the complete senses, like the eye, ear, nose, everything. So complete 5 senses, and have a kind of a miraculous power. We can't go through the walls. We have to have a door, and you have to open the door, and then you go through. But Pardo beings, you don't have to have door, or you can go anywhere from through the walls, and wherever it goes, it roams around. So intermediate state until it finds its next birth.
강사는 간도 샘도 집어래. 간도 단다 간도 샘로서 림보로 통마도. 바도와디 샘 가war는 림보들레 되었다. 림보서 그런.
So it's the same as our mind, like our mind can go through everywhere. It can be, to the next house or next country, next the village like that. But our body cannot go through, right? So mind can go. So Pardo beings just like the mind, and it can go through all these places.
아니 바도와디 빼면서 다 르바는 보였어도. 아니 된 나와라 뭐라 연구해서 봐배나. 센데가 나와 태심에가 나와 아니 또 예담 라이 나와라 뭐라 연구해서 봐. 아니 가시 배나 지름 붙이거나 르바서요서도. 지름 붙이 따와나 아니 바도 될라야. 나 가로. 이제면 그냥 시버레스 나도 랍소죠스. 냠렘 바트데 만나 바도 될라 사제도 요레스.
And so it is said that in the intermediate state your mind is very sharp. And you can have all kinds of visions, so the visions of this life, visions of the past life, vision of the next life, and if you use it, of course you can use that sharp mind, to put into practice also. So it is said that Lama Tsongkhapa attained the illusory body, and like the high and high yoga tantra practice, in the intermediate state.
아니 간다라 바두 갑라 양아도 나다 뭐라뭐 연결했다 신금다 뭐라가도 빼나 다 예담다 뭐라가도 제와 몸볼랑아도 레와예도 바두 갑라야 티 나와다 뭐라뭐 연결서 봐 다 티갑라 나와테 만차테 빼는 것이 뭐더라.
So we'll have all these visions, of the deities, like deities that we have been, having connection with, like the deity practice that we've been doing, all these things, that we will have the vision of those deities also. And so it's very, of course, at that time, if you understand that and then keep that vision, that's very important and that's very good and very beneficial. So it is important, to hold, to that vision.
아니 텐데 코르테 간도 버드 투르사이 드나 빼서요.
And so, you have read about this, the Tibetan Book of Death, right? So there it explains about all these things. Okay, now this is this is what's going to happen to you. This is the kind of vision you're going to have, and this is what you're supposed to think. This is what you're not supposed to think, like that. It explains about all that. So it's like reading to the being in the intermediate state.
아니 춘조 번한 거 소저는 뭐지 좀 저거 답시 빼그라 좀 어때요?
So that book, right? Soja Rinpoche, by Soja Rinpoche. Have you heard of that? Have you seen it?
오케이. 대 나라 라베티 근데 투르나 버드 투르나 가요 와도 되나 바보 때때 잡히려서.
So there, it's actually it's the translation of the Tibetan Book of Death, which talks about all these teachings, like you're talking, you when somebody dies, then you sit in front of that person's dead body, or if it's not there, then within like 49 days you can read it, and then it says it's believed that the being is still around, and when you read that, then the person hears you, person get here, and then he will be able to okay, now you're supposed to hold that vision, and then he will be able to hold it. Otherwise, he doesn't know, and he will not hold it, right? So you tell that. So those kind of things. So that's called the Tibetan Book of Death, and the Soja Rinpoche's Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. And so that's actually the commentary. But then, of course, he added his own version of more commentary to that commentary.
다 간조 용자가 가는 날 저와서 다 가지 버도에 체세대 단들만 미세스 캐셔면도 아니 버도와데 베나 다 가서 소단도 여와이나 아니 냐와 예다 들어서 소소고 소다 마다만 올래 그래서도
So the kind of the shape, like you talk about here, the phantom, but also on top of that we'll have like a shape of the, like Deborah mentioned, of the being that you're going to be born as. So if you're going to be born in a hungry ghost, then you have like a shape of hungry ghost, or animal, then you're going to offer animal, or human being, then offer human being.
오케이. 아니 다네 내가 지 가르쳐 되는 다 간주고 배회에 로설었잖아. 아니 샤시지 든다 십시 셰가로. 샤지 셰글라 아니 다 미드 섬제 가리나 고소서 기와디 녀도 그래서 다 타리준도 써이나.
And so the longest lifespan of the pardo, or the intermediate state, is 49 days. So after 49 days, definitely it will find its rebirth.
아니 버도바 코나데 가르나 아니 세세데 아니 샤보디메 데 말이스. 대지나 양시 한 버도 심바 있잖아 그래서.
So you'll be in the intermediate state for up to 49 days, but then the lifespan actually is like 7 days. They say, so you live up to 7 days, and then if you don't find birth next within that time, then you will die. You'll die, and then again you'll be born again. So you die in the intermediate state, and then born again back into intermediate state.
근데 이제 다 뒤가는 가서 배배를 로설라 남배를 로설라 마 넘버 마치 버지 되네서. 근데 가서 샤보지 셰글라 아니 샤다 뭐 셰그래.
And so usually, there's a big prayers done for that person within that time, and especially at that end, and on the 49th day.
아니 뒤가래 안 가서 술당 그래서. 샤보지 셰글라 술때 아니 쇼데라 칼라 잡도래.
And so there is it's called it's an offering of smell food, like smell food. Usually, in Tibetan tradition, what we do is we mix the flour with the butter, sugar, and all, and then you burn it in the fire. So the smoke that comes from that smell and the smoke comes from that can feed the intermediate beings.
아니 다 가서 랍소르저 배나 가서 배나 남이지 배나 남이지 저하다 니 코랑 가서 통고 말다 코랑 연구랑 가서 남에서 요네 이게 포와도 되시 안 돼. 말아 칼라 트랙인데 코가서 깨시게 돼서 딱 요래서 가서 랍 그래서.
So of course we don't see the person when he has died, but when he's in the intermediate state, he will see us. So he will come back and he will look at his things, and he says, "Oh, my things are there or not? Have they pour some food for me or not?" He will see. He will come and see like that all the things.
그래서 코랑을 가서 깨시거든. 가서 고고요 말. 그래서 막어서 딱 고깨시면 도서는 야샘 두고요. 근데 셰요.
And also, like, of course, when they don't know they're dead, they think they're still alive, right? But it feels like they're still alive, and they don't know they're dead. So they come to talk to you. I says, oh, they're not talking to me, Maybe they're angry, and so, oh, why they're angry? So then you get upset or sad, with that.
다 나중에 아니 딱 소소 꼬라져 가와는 로데에서 봤는데 이제 다 딘데 갑랑 간주 배나 칼라로 순다고 배나 수도 주지 따다 피고도 생도 배나 치도 다 덤바다 따다 제와는 제와 그 뒤갑라 코 칼라들 때는 거의 딱 그런 걸 내고 연구해서 봐.
So then he, comes through the time, when he comes, to get food, like the smell food, and so there's like usually, whenever you offer, you offer at the same time, like you're offering at and around maybe 8 o'clock in the morning, then you offer at that time. If you're 9 o'clock, then offer at that time. So he comes, around that time, exactly around at that time, whenever you set to offer that.
다 뒤가 가도 개와 제와 해나 배나 다코 배나 개와 렘발라 배나 가도 잘라도 찌 맞아나 다 배나 잘라 배나 내려야 돌아 치트고는 가도 센 그치 고금하면 그 녀석 말어 왔는데 lumadi ang cho trek mar sani khila na trek mar was ta ngado ko chewa lembala te ti gewa ro na ta ngam gewa chena ko thi ga wang ga ni ko chewa lan thon ro tene da kaji danda chi ge che la ma kaji danda ni kaji danda sum danda shi ta kaji danda ding so so chewa hang chi le ro res.
So when you do some prayers for him, for the person who have died, then it helps the person to have a rebirth, to get a rebirth, or to get a better rebirth. It can help, so especially if it's done by somebody who is connected, related with that person, can help. So if we push, like maybe there's like some merit missing, in his, action, and he couldn't take a rebirth. And then when you do that for them, then you fill up that missing. Like Geshe was giving an example of, like if this thing costs $1 and you only have a 99 cents, you will not be able to buy it, right? They will not sell you for 99 cents. You can't say, in this country, like in other countries, like if you know the shop, if you know the shopkeeper, and you say, okay, I'll bring 1 cent tomorrow, and they say, okay, no problem, yeah, take it. But here you can't do that, right? Says no, you have to register the cash, right? So you can't do that. So you have to have the 1 cent missing. Yeah? And when you feel that, then you will be able to buy. It's like feeling that 1 cent.
Today, dinaneta so pama pejin devada, get to devana,
And so the person who are related with that person who died, like parents, right? Parents, siblings, children, or if like a teacher, disciple, gurus, then it's much more helpful.
Okay. What are the parts of the Chetan and the Zoo Kabla Yang Naganalape, Jewoy? Kanekari Yogo, Chikala Padokani, that's what you watch. And that time dinner, Mambosh Keshwamina, Kaji Tusre, Kademi Mash Shawada, Java Chima, and that Simja Shibachiva Malaban and Pardo say Javalayos.
And so there's a very detailed explanation about the Pardo state in that Tibetan book of death, like also in Tantra there also talks about that a lot. But anyway, this is all it talks about here. So that intermediate state, state between birth and death and birth. So you die, and then before you take a birth, that state between that is called intermediate state or Pardo.
Yes.
Geshe, is it possible for someone to stay in the intermediate state longer than 49 days?
No.
Not at all. Because the reason I'm asking is that I had a very close friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, who died in 2001.
Okay.
And I dreamed, she appeared in my dreams, and it was very clear to me that she didn't know she was dead. And I had that distinct impression she did not know she was dead, and I didn't know how to tell her that she was dead. But I think this was beyond the 49 days, so.
Yeah, this is just your dream.
This is my dream. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe you think about that, the dream becomes sometimes dream. Melam tengo na down the world. Comes on to some mission me other tang to us. Melam said no to madem pere.
So dream is a dream. Dream is a dream. It's an example of fake. It's non-true. It's not real. So when you dream something, it means nothing, right? So it's just, in the dream you're rich. You're not really rich. So it's just a dream. That's a, So if you're not rich and you just dream being rich, then it doesn't mean anything. It's not real. And also, of course, sometimes like we feel like oh something like real, but then many times when we dream, it's like unimaginable things, right? So I was flying, or I was like doing this, doing that. So those kind of things you dream of, not real at all. So usually it's like that.
근데 다 간데 안에
More like Geshe.
yes.
I have a question. If you were saying prayers for someone who is of a totally different faith, who may believe that their soul goes to heaven,
Yeah.
or someone who has no faith,
Yeah.
who doesn't believe in God or anything, is it of any help to do these I mean, I can see where it would help the people who are left behind. I would see that it would give them some peace of mind. But does it help the person who doesn't believe any of this?
근데 간데나 간지 더 소설 팬도 그랬어. 셴 파주 왔다. 나도
거랑서다. 소설도 팬도 하고 소설도 그런 뭐 그런 게 낭매도 서로 팬도 왜 하고
제가 파주
그런 낭매도 딱 그런 낭매도 로데고 잘 왔다. 거랑서 먼저 샵대 체인은 그 로데고 잘 왔다. 핑거라. 되자면 나 거랑 알았어요.
코로나 팬도 다 나도 쇼치는 데서 깔리 가오요래.
팬도 시그레다라.
팬도 시버다 깔리 가오이 나도 라게로 팬나 나도 르통보지 가라마 차이고라 삼바이 쇼바이나. 삼바 티스미기 올도 말해. 근데 요래서.
Yes, it's possible, but very difficult. Because of all these backgrounds, right? Because of that background, it's very difficult. But it's possible. You can't say no, it will not help. It may help, but it will be very difficult. For that kind of being. It's like the example they give is like you're up in the mountain and on the very high rock in the mountain, and then from there you throw a handful of flour. Flour, or barley or wheat flour, and then how much it will land on the bottom of the hill, it's very difficult to say, and most of it will be like all blown to other places, right? For it to land to the bottom of the hill, it's very difficult. It's like that, but it's possible. It's possible. You can't say no, it will not land there. Oh, it might land.
땅아도 좋아하려 그래. 근데 라버리나 라버도 싫어한데 싫어하다. 그걸 대화요 막 이렇게 신거 말. 땅아도 오만 부자 되겠어. 나한테 뱅을 말했어.
So like the rabbit is dying, right? Like say it died. So somebody ran over it and then it died, right? It's there. But then we go and say, poor rabbit. So then we say, Oman Pema. So you just say prayers for that. Will it help? He doesn't have any belief, right?
Yeah.
It's worse than person. Worse than person who doesn't have belief in anything.
얘나 가지 그 힘에 와지 싫어 지어가 제와나 쿨이 심제데 듣고 고라 kel 받쳐서 그랬어. 때내래 받쳐서 그랬어.
So after his death, maybe very difficult, but definitely it might help, So in some small ways, but it may help, but very difficult, right? So, but if he's still alive and then it hears the sound, Om Mani Padme Hum, maybe that can help. That leaves some imprint in its mind,
예. 그러나 그 틈하고는 그 받쳐서 그러와.
So even if he doesn't understand the meaning of the word, it will still leave some latencies in his mind.
얘나 되게 깨지는 가는 소리라 계속 치워시야 팽을 걸어와.
But that helps us to generate more virtues in our mind.
Okay? Yes. Okay, who's? Okay. Yeah.
What is the purpose of the prayer for the animal or the person who passed away? Is it to help the person to have a higher, have a rebirth in higher realm, or is it to help the person to have a rebirth faster?
대니갈 팬도 그러와.
Both
Yeah.
can help for both, yes.
Yeah.
It is possible through prayer to help the person to have a higher rebirth than
Yeah.
the person supposed to be?
야야 대오용 그랬어. 그나 밀리토한테 와지 그때 다음에 와야나 그때 깨는 제도.
내 그런 게 싸거든, 맞아. 내 싸는 거 진짜.
그런 레스하죠. 당근도 깨는 거 봤어.
Yeah.
또 개와죠. 그 깨는 거 그래.
Yes. So we can be only a condition. The real cause to be born as a human being, he has to have created. If he has not created, no matter how much prayers we do, no, it will not help. He has to have created the karma to be born as a human being. But because of some conditions missing, he might not be able to be born. So by doing the prayers, we might be able to help, to fill up that missing condition for him to be born as a human being.
Are we saying like the person used to supposed to spend 47 days, but after the prayer, like they can take a rebirth within 7 days? That's
그럼.
그래, 난 그랑 또 바로 나라다 40주 10 दिन 버터 되게 왜나? And another Melam Java Latin Content Shash Dunno, Kiwa Land, and the English West.
de mago res bin benash sedan korati mal mewana ko sha shi de go na mal japshana ka ji tingela ko the tani sum kiwalendo to go res.
Yes, yes. So if you didn't do the prayers, maybe he might live. He might have to be in the intermediate state for up to 49, 47 days or 46 days. But then because of doing the prayers, he might be born. I mean, he might find a rebirth, in like a week or two, like that.
Peshana ngado miji tsongkhal chushana tsongkhal lochu de go shona ane yamana migi chi nami ro pa chicheni ko longa ga thando yo petendo.
So just like a person who has to be in a prison for 10 years, but because of doing some good things by himself or by applying some condition from the family side or friend side, and then they may reduce him to be like only for 6 years or 5 years, like that. It's being like that.
Okay.
Like painful in Bardo state? Like is it worse than hell realm or?
ता वर्स मादा kanji kange da ka kewala sa mara wa chine nyenso cha ta mara juda ta kewala sa mara wa chine juda ta ko.
Yeah, it's like like a homeless.
Like homeless.
Like a homeless, so if you don't have a home, then you're like roaming around, so where I'm going, what I'm doing, you don't know what are you doing, right? So you don't know where's your house, and you're just walking around, like that, that kind of feeling. It's not like a hell or I don't like, but you don't have that kind of worry and tension, stress, so like that kind of things, so you have that, and then when you finally, then you feel like,
So your attachment really is what brings you back, because you're feeling like you have homeless. And so you're like, wait, I need something. I need a home. I need to feel it again.
That's right,
And so you attach yourself to that feeling, the only feeling that you know
yes,
Exactly.
at that moment, which is I want to have a family, or I want to,
be born,
Yeah, exactly. That thing.
그런 것도 하고 그거 말이나. 당가 겨울랭고도 겨울랭고도 삼국 말았다.
대도 상마다 간지다 코치 잘라로 마사다 주대 그러. 그 깨war랑 그러면 간지 코랑 게 사자다 말아친 로데다.
So and the worst thing is that he doesn't even know that he has to be born.
가자면서.
Oh, I want to be born. I have to be born. I'm in the intermediate state. I have to be born, reborn. You don't even know how to think like that,
Right.
So because of the karma, it's just roaming around, don't know, no idea, what's happening, and it's just going around and around, and it's all in confusion like that.
아니 딘디 주대베 갑라야 아니 다 소소라 아니 파마가 렌데 요베 강다지려야 다 딘디 풍부 냠치고 갑라야 아니 소소 레단 레와요 같이 푸긴 통하지 이 냠치는
디젤랑고도 돼.
디젤다 디산이 디젤랑 그랬어.
Yeah.
연속하는 자.
Yeah, so then after that, then of course because of the karma, because of his karma, then it will find, the person who he's going to be born, with the family that he's going to be born in. So which comes later, right? It comes
there was
in the
a
next.
question about that too.
Yeah, the way one is conceived and reborn, the way one is conceived and reborn. Yeah. Did you read about that?
I did,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
오케이.
뒤에 도시나 되게 많이 봐죠.
아, 나한테 말다 시험도.
아,
디세션도.
그래.
그래. 간도 시험도.
말 가르치지 가르면 가르치기를.
미호 말. 막 코카로 도와대.
말 거기 다들 디콜로 인서 거라. 디콜로 되어였어.
알레.
완전 영상 잘단 걸라.
아디 년자들 가도 주마차. 드림 저 마트양 투도 kan가.
알레.
kan가 투도. 년자자 이걸라는 가도 땡데라 주니 거는 많이 도자다 이때 마차나 로고.
디디 담보 줘 되는 되는 준이도 이제 고츠나.
지금 고소다. 나한테 알 저번에 단도 마트 들어와. 알 땡돌로지는 저 골마레시 다.
그래. 디콜로 도나 디서래.
알 저번 마트 단도 고소 저도.
So you have other questions before we go to that?
Yes, this explanation that you just gave, that it's confused,
Uh-huh.
is opposite of what it's saying here, right? That they have all their faculties, they're clairvoyant
Mm-hmm.
of form. It's the opposite of that.
만마 콘통게는 그 제발했는데 신경 기자 말다시. 시다 고가가 신경이래서. 간나 그 마시와데 가 제와 내랭고도 내랭 신경 기자 말다시. 다 그런 가완도가 하고 같이 고통 되는 줄 봐. 어때면 저 코치는 하고 말아 공연시에 요래서. 일랍도 왔어.
그래.
그래다 아니 뭐 고제와 가와를 같이 제와라서 말아왔지네. 가지 가장 매와이나 미리 가장 많이 와나 그 로서 가지 로고 식을다 가완도 식을 말아 대소절을.
Yes, it is. It's of course. It's not saying that it doesn't know anything. Of course, it knows nothing. It's like a clairvoyant. It knows all the things, but it doesn't know where to be born. So it's like you have to be somewhere, but you don't know the address of that place. You don't have the address of. You have to be there in that place, but you don't have the address. How are you going to be there, right? So you don't have the address. You'll be just like going round and round, like that. That's what it means. Yeah. So he doesn't know.
다나지 배나 롱게마 수수 가르치와 롱아지 강가 그 하고요. 그 가완다 사자 가와도 강가 그 신기했어.
저 공모시였으니 벌써 그러다. 미 신심시 안된 것이라도.
제가 다 둘지는 가지 다 먹어 라트에 먹어와. 근데 소소고 지금 싸먹 먹고 다 먹고 강가 그 받아도 엄마 강로 강가 그 신기했어. 무시했대. 아 양게 샘 시우기 자에서 말대.
So like when we say clairvoyant, so what kind of clairvoyant? It's like there's so many different kind of clairvoyance, right? Clairvoyant of knowing the past, clairvoyant of the future, clairvoyance of knowing other people's mind. It's not like part of the person can read your mind, it's not like that. Not that kind of clairvoyant. When you talk about clairvoyant, it's not like that, So, but of course, you can think about all the things that happened in his or her life in that time or in the previous life also. You can have those kind of knowledges, but it will not know where to be born, and then it will not find, So it's just like not able to find. It's going around and around like that. Yeah.
Okay, it's a little bit different. Make sense, or it's more complicated. 말 네 사에 대한 것도 제시심에 이제 되게 참 말했어요. 간지 람고 지난데 내려다 라티 제고 말했어. 간지 템고 따다다다 그런 걸 내지 왕기 뭐 가르치고 가완로요와 소소 파마 가야마 사자가 뭐 강가 신기했어.
So like when you're there, you don't have to be. When we say a clairvoyant, doesn't mean that you can know other people's mind or like that. When we talk about clairvoyant, or he's clairvoyant, that means like he can read your mind. Like that. It's not like that. Yeah. So in the intermediate state, you don't have to be taught. Because he already has been to those places. He knows. Oh, this is my house. That's my mother. That's my father. He already knows that kind of things. So he's already familiar with those things, and he doesn't have to be told again. That's what it means here.
And nothing bars its way except for sacred reliquaries or birth rights? What does that mean?
Reliquaries or what?
Nothing bars their way.
Yeah.
Except for sacred reliquaries or their birth sites. What does that mean?
네, 다 가서가서 당가도 코로나 기구 가게 말했어. 당가도 내 자친보다 다 같이 갈라도. 배변나 갈라서.
거기서 살아 거기서.
Where is that?
Which part?
In that same section where we read?
Yeah, right in the. So bardo beings have all their faculties.
옹보 상마상 알았어.
아니. 그나 옹보가 저 주다로 같은 거랬어. 아니 레지 들어다 때만 들어다 말인데 갖고 가월에는 샘 가월에는 텔레토 그랬어. 들어와. 들어다 콘 담라 땡을 그냥 말다. 샘 가월에는 텔레토 그랬어. 들어다 때 말했어. 아니 소소 계사도 마도 이제 무슨 까토 말했어.
네, 계사대.
다 계사 변하다 같이 공제는 계사들 콜레나 코 다르 코튼 주 대가도 말 셴고 가원 주로 그랬어.
Yeah, so what is the birth state, right?
Yeah, it says nothing bars their way except for sacred reliquaries or their birth sites.
Yeah.
Or their birth state.
계사도 마도. 셴고 가원나 그 수직이 내 까토 말.
I'm not seeing that.
It's way under the.
야, 디고도.
Oh, okay.
다 디고도 하는 거. 전체적으로 된바. 능이시 요바 레지 전자당 된바 덴베 덴셔바. 아니 제네 마도 칸라가 못도바.
Yeah. So the birth state is whatever is going to be born from the womb, and so when it comes to the womb, and then it will get stuck there. If it's going to be born from egg, when it comes to that egg, then it will be stuck there. Only those things can stop it. Otherwise it will go through the walls, the ceilings, everywhere. Right. Reliquary is the Tseten Sikola. Tseten ne karsa? Nange keneda, kesada.
Keneda dembe 덴셔바. 드리체서
디콘라도.
콘도.
디콘.
바도 umbo kansa ngeshe yoba leji 전자당 덴베 덴셔바.
아니.
덴시전. 아니 제네 마도
걔네
칸라가 못도바.
걔네 마도 너도.
소 계사도 마도 아니 강게 고가도 말했어.
근데 내 자치 모델은 먼저 그래서 최된데서 대서 그런 거는 가게랬어도. 대서 최된데서 가서 최된단 때에서는 윤을 둬야 말았어. 근데 가면 돼.
안 돼, 버리면 돼.
I have a different translation.
Yeah, that's what I'm. What's
What
that?
did yours say, Bob? This translation says,
The part of the United States appears to be like.
it's able to travel unimpeded almost anywhere except through holy places and the womb.
Holy places, yeah.
So it's his holy places.
내 자치 무슨 거다. 먼저 최된다. 다 군다다.
단 니들은 게임인데 배제 되면은 최대한으로 게임다. 레지 던저다 데 던저다 덴베 대시 찬스. 걔네 모두 가나가 못도바. 냐와다 예다스.
All
It's different.
then they know me there.
Chudi bagadash.
First, the you know,
Pedi chora yewe. Ni shorni chidu. Legit rada dembe. Den yip chance. Tendege ten gitara to yip chen yires. Jene mato kalaga mato bas. All different, all,
Yeah, that made it clear.
they may be clear.
Yeah, that made it clear, yeah.
What do you say?
This one says, sacred reliquaries
Yeah.
or birth sites.
then 최대한다 돼서 손을 들고 말씀을
근데 얘나 다 땡인데 배신들 안 맞도.
배신하면 돼. 슈 가서도 쇼랑 가더래.
근데 쇼장 숨자자 작선.
아,
숨자자 작선.
저기 저기서 말이야.
저는 버두치다. 강리 버두치다. 레고.
그래?
어.
아, 내가 근데 배던 적으로.
버두치다.
아니, 중교를 쳤다 이거.
야. 간지 디블라 때쯤에 다 간지 된지가 내라야다 간지 고수 까거서나 아니 수조 레사체베 제네들라나 아니 ngal레나 다 디카노 파도토 말이지.
Yeah, so usually, I mean, in the text itself here, in the Tibetan text, that's 뭐는 쭉 읽어라.
아.
뭐는 쭉 읽어라.
지부지로 기타대. 지부지로.
In the Tibetan text, it doesn't mention about that reliquaries, so, or the holy places. It just says when accept the birth, state. Yeah.
지체나 내 체와 있어 버렸어. 저래다 코 된지가
So this one is like in the printed now, so it could be missing in the Tibetan text.
그래서 지체나 코
In the actual text, maybe there is.
레지 왕가 양치 또 사샤 땐 첨보들라 양고 니바드 메와이다 땐 로라 양고 지 니바이 고지로 봐. 아니 돈도 마다 되네 있어 버렸어.
Yeah. So, because you need a, I don't know, maybe it's because the holy places are very powerful, so maybe you can't go through that.
오케이.
The being and the bardo know what color it is.
그럼.
이건 좀 독이 그래서.
땐 동대는 담다 챘다 배나 고.
그런 게 하고 그래서.
그런 거는 너 그래만 하고면 돼. 빠지지 거기 말.
Not sure.
야. 그러나 what is. 나도 배나 나와도 따와 있나 너 예바나 아니 냐와는 동대데 요레스. 예달은 동대데 요레스. 둘을 동대데 요레스. 다 골할 징이냐 근데 요레스. 와도. 녹색.
So yeah, it talks about the color, right? Where you're going to be born in. If you're going to be born in hell, you'll have like a burnt log and like that, But I don't know if the
When you dream, you can see color, right? So,
I don't know if the part of beings know that what color they have.
Yeah. I don't know that.
And then also, there is no bardo for beings taking rebirth in the formless realm.
Formless realm, yes.
What is that?
바르도야 말이야.
다 줌이 제한테 다 가서 난가 또 배운 거 제사죠. 다 텔레 아니 봐도 좀 보고 말까지 또 받아 온거 제대로 있어. 그래야 zukamne zumana 빠졌나? 아니 딱까지 줌에 근데 줌에 봐도 나도 미 봐도 냐외 봐도 가까이요. 근데 줌에 봐도서 야요 말했어. 될라가서.
Maybe just 그래.
그래서 다 간제 봐도 좀 먹어 왔지네. 아니 소소고 왕보고 있네. 왕보다까지 다 또배 나게 눈출서가 남도 뇌시서가 남도 다 깨놓고 살아와.
So it says, when you don't have to go through the Pardo state. When you die, if you're going to be born as in a formless realm, then you go straight. It's like it's through the conceptual mind. It's your conceptual mind that takes form takes birth immediately, to the formless realm. So you don't have to go through the intermediate state.
내 주고 봐도 내 줌에 봐도래서 그저 봐도 가가지 봐 샤메에 들어가서. 제가서 배는 내 봐도 내외 봐도 샤도지 가가가.
그래서 냐올라 깨야지 요라 오늘 바도 먹어서 랭에 삽좀 상는데도 삼행일에서
삼행일에서나 아니 봐도 제 먹고서 말까지.
삼에서 그래.
또 내가 반삼해 봐. 반삼해 봐.
발산해 봐서 그래.
로찬 그래.
네.
템바 봐셔 봐. 아니 봐도 제 먹고 그저 되나.
발산.
깨와시험 제 먹어봐.
깨와시험
그것도 모르겠어. 근데 이제 뭐 봐도 제 먹어서 얘나면아. 삼에시 봐이나.
So I don't know, maybe I heard something like, when you have committed a heinous crime, so heinous crime which says uninterrupted, uninterrupted rebirth, and it's called uninterrupted. So if you have created heinous crime, then you are born immediately in a hell realm, and so you don't have to go through the intermediate stage, so uninterrupted. So without being interrupted by intermediate state, you will go straight into the hell realm like that. Heinous crime. Killing your own father, killing your own mother, or causing a schism, in the sangha, and shedding, blood from Buddha's body, like that. Those kind of crimes, are very extreme, so that you don't have to go through the intermediate state. Without being interrupted by intermediate state, you are born straight in the hell realm, like that. So I'm not sure exactly, but I think, so I have here some more, saying that you don't have to go through the intermediate state there too. So it's you are taking a break, between the birth and the intermediate state. You are taking a break, and okay, now let me decide where I'm going to be born. So if you have created that uninterrupted, the heinous crime, then there's no break. You go straight into the next job. So it's just like, a person who have committed a very big crime, then you don't have to go through the court and all this, straight to the jail, right? Like that. So otherwise, if you don't know if that crime was committed by that person, then you go through all this process, the trials, right? And then at the end you make the decision whether that person has to be sent to the jail or not.
Okay. Yes.
What about people that practice for the pure? Where would they go?
당신을 깨야이나? 당신을
근데
깨게
다질에 제와이나 가도 봐도 되니 가지고 딱 아주 수술 나서 말아요 그래서 봤어. 아니 나왔다 님마다 받는 게 가고. 어까 보더래 제게서 되는 거야 다질에 제도.
근데 봐도 준다고 그래서.
봐도 뭐지 전국에서 했어.
So I think so. Yeah, you have to go through the intermediate state, but then you have all this clear light, like the sunlight or moonlight visions, and then through that, then you go to the pure land.
근데 지름보치 아니 봐도 되라 사제월다 사제월 봐도 좀 제여서 어때 이런 뭐 대세는 뭐로 해서라 봐도.
So in the intermediate state, like I mentioned earlier about Lama Tsongkhapa, who gained a realization, and of the high tantric practice in the intermediate state, and it says gain enlightenment in the intermediate state.
Okay. Yes.
I have a question about children being able to see the beings that are in the bardo, maybe. I have a little cousin, younger cousin who died years ago, and his niece, who at the time was maybe three or four, maybe. She used to say that he would be playing with her, like he'd be there playing around, maybe playing, being silly, and then one day she went to her grandmother and she said, Uncle Scotty keeps bothering me. Will you tell him to stop bothering me? And after that she stopped seeing him. He stopped. I don't know.
용서바로.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
possible.
it's possible, yeah. 시당가도 보고 주주도 제왕하자면 뭐 챙겨래.
Yeah, when you were young, you can remember many things from your past lives.
Okay. Yes.
So is the bardo like a shared place where, say like Deborah and I died at the same exact time?
Okay.
Would we both, is there,
Could you hang out?
yeah. Because we're talking about how the mind can go anywhere it wants to go, right? But if I go through this wall, right, I might see something on the other side of the wall that
And you call Deborah from this.
might not see. It might be different for her on the other side of that wall. Or is it reality for everybody on the other side of that wall? It's just trees and woods, or your neighbor right next door, whatever it is. Is that, does that exist in the bardo still? Or is it a place? Is it like a shared location that everybody goes to? Or, it's just kind of.
말 바도에서 너가 로데다. 너가 바도가 로데에서 나도 통해 말면서. 그 여된 거는 여된 건데 간바에 그 로데였어요.
그랑 통화도 좀 집어라, 참아라, 집어라.
그래도 통해 집어라.
그냥 코시바나 거의 벌더기 때 강반 알려도는 가서 통과라.
야, 집어지.
아니 모시바나 뭐 벌더기.
나도 통해야 돼. 나도 반 통해 말면. 더 집어넣어 그래.
펜션 통과를 배.
근데 자니 배도 배도 독일면 아무거다. 다시 대든 독일지 마라. 대나 바드 계시네. 야 계시대. 들이 배잖아 요 말에. 계시들 룩서지 들이 고마이나 수준 통화도 집안 통거리. 제가 갈동안 또 수준 내죠.
Yeah, you see the same thing.
드모만 통화래. 드모만 봐 수준 통화 여러 가지.
You see the same thing that are common, to both of you, and then there can be also uncommon things which you only you see but she cannot see because of your karma. But I don't know about hanging out with each other. I don't know if you can see.
I was just wondering if
Yeah.
it's the same experience, like
The 하고 말하고 바지도 씹어야 돼 하고 말하고.
제대로 지금 연하면은 대 바도와도 마치 소수 쉐와 가지 하고 말선도. 아니
바도 ngan pena ngan zo ki pardo ma thong na shi pardo thong ma.
제가 바도 바진 통고 바도 통고 빼셨더니 요 말에.
So you see, the part. I mean, the intermediate being sees only what we see, right? So you let's say you are dead, and then your intermediate state is roaming around, and you see me, and I, you see Deborah, and I see Deborah. So that's just like I see Deborah, and you see Deborah too, and then you go to talk to Deborah, but she doesn't talk to you, and then I go to talk to Deborah, and Deborah responds to me, and then she says, oh, you say. Oh, she's responding to Jangchub, but not to me, and then you get upset like that, So you see exactly the same. Like, you might be seeing Deborah, I mean, it doesn't make sense, that you see Deborah if it is her intermediate state, because I don't see it normally, right? So you might not see it either. So I don't know exactly, but it doesn't. I haven't come across any text which explains about that, but so you see what you usually see. Then you will know. Then she's dead or like that. Like you will come to know that, right? So I haven't seen any text explaining that.
아니 바도도 다 가디 trouble 바도된 간도 체인데 우 쳇바 다나 트레로래 우 쳇바다 바도 trouble 되냐 그랬어 야 되네 먹시 된 때도 그 바도 trouble 계셔 말
Which is the 나오체나.
다 나오셔야 나가 나올라 그러고
So then when do we establish? When does the intermediate state gets established or come to exist? Is soon after you die. So in Buddhism, right? The death. When the death happens, when you stop the inner breathing, right? The inner breathing. So not the outer, not the external breath, but inner breathing. So when you stop that, then that's when it's claimed as death.
아니 간주 그체 간주 속대 간주 롱섬도 롱 근데 롱어디 니바 가디 도나 아니 간주 따치로 그랬어 롱어디 안데 다 체대 섬마도 와치 속대 섬마도 속 진짜 마도 와치
So it's the gross mind, right? There's a gross mind and gross sound, gross wind. The mind and wind, they go together. The mind is mounting, and on a wind, it mounts on the wind and then it travels. So the wind has to blow. Or carry it in every way it goes. So there's a subtle wind that goes with the subtle mind, but then the gross mind, the gross wind that supports our life. When the energy or the power of that wind has exhausted, then there's no more, wind, to hold that life, and then that's when, we die.
속세대 아니 체당 바로 최당 남시 댄사기 다 롱데 가지 롱 참모 요 대리롱 니빠 냠내고 보 스마트 차와야나 아니 딱으로 잘한다고 나 가지 무도 같이 바로 아니 밑에 시설 다기 딱 요러
So it's like the energy or wind, that holds, the mind, right? The mind that holds the mind in your body, and then when that power, when the power of that wind is dissipated, then there's nothing to hold the mind, to hold that, the drops, where the mind is held, and then the drops, will flow, so the red will go up, and then come out from your nostril, and then the white will, fall down, and then come out from your genitals, so then that's when the mind has exactly, absolutely left your body.
yes
What are the drops made of?
The karma, the karma, the karma is your chata.
다도 찍들어와 대가는 슐로고 zugra 바로와 다도 zugra 바로와 나 조데 샘 로마도 사대 간지 피기 롱기 니바데 냠로도 간라바 아니 슐로고 따도 다 돼.
The karma is the chata,
차당데 코들어와
yeah, the blood and sperm.
They are physical substances?
Physical, right?
야 대피니까
Physical, yes.
대가도 빠지야도 빠지야 기억한도 와서
Yeah, you can take a picture of it.
만조 그 배나 안에 속이 댄셔바 롱데 빠지야요 말에 민 통하요 말에
So the wind that supports the mind, or the life, Yeah, of course, it's not physical. It's not. I mean, it's maybe physical. You can call it physical, but the wind is physical, right? The wind blowing, so that's physical. But you can't take a picture of it, like that.
간지 딘디기 니빠지래 간지 세당 저 맞아 소당 저니 댄사가 딘디기 니빠지래 놀라고 도왔어.
So that energy, which supports, the life, is called the wind.
배나 니마지는 가서 못 가다 단 거래. 최순지 잡질 못 가다 단 거래.
How many times do we breathe
24 hours.
in 24 hours?
60 times a minute usually, times
60 times a minute?
60 times, well, no, sorry, that's your heartbeat, sorry.
That's a heartbeat.
Yeah.
남도 배잖아래. 우 니도 직도 투자. 샤치라 단 거들 할때. 샤치에도 추도 냐신 잡실 나게나 추도 중이라고 내가 하고 못. 샤치라 니도 직도 투자.
21,600.
Yeah.
21,600 times in a day. So a day is just 12-hour day, or the 24-hour day. I don't know.
그래서 추도 남주 가지 배는 트리블하나 추든지 잡실랑 가도 감도 대만 가다 단
So
걸라.
in the science, how much do they say? How many times we breathe in 24 hours? No?
Different for each person.
Huh?
Each person is a little different. because
Each person is different.
Some people
Yeah.
breathe faster, some people breathe
다
slower.
식당 전에
In general, in average.
Yeah, 21,000 is about right.
All right.
No, it's about right.
Oh, okay.
어
In 24 hours.
드레다 다 딘디기 우티 조금 쉬었다 와 있나 아니 세 싫어래 현조가 인조래서.
So you have only that much of breath in a day. So if you breathe more than that, then you exhausted. You use it up. You use up your breath, and you die faster.
대강 빼잖아 요다. 대 빼잖아 두.
It's really true.
야, 두야.
So if you exercise a lot, you die faster?
나 태워 인사 말. 나 what they say? 태워 인사 말.
Oh, Google.
What is
Google says older children and adults, when resting, usually breathe about 12 to 20 times per minute. Over the course of a day, that adds up to 17,000 to 30,000 breaths per day.
17 or
17 to 30. Yeah,
That's the range.
that's a big range.
But these are for when you're at rest.
Yeah.
야. 오다 때문에 드레이자 다 가도 되는데 데레다 간주고 배는 남배기
로지제도는 요거처럼.
조버치기로 와. 드레이 빼잖아도 요다 간제 미 통화에나 우 당당할 때네 미 아니 가디 통화 하고 되는데 이걸 당도 남이 남래가 보시되게나. 아니 임바든 가서 배나 미야 차와데 40밀리언 조아시 아주 미다와는 조 두고잖아 납시대 40밀리언 조아시 남시 두고 시엔 더서라 남은 40밀리언 조아가면은 내요 도도소도고 말해. 그래서 나도 너도 간가라야 아니 체요です나 소요 말했으라 그래서 남비추. 내가 체요です소요 말했어.
되게 거래 뭐네 왜 말아?
내문을 메토라.
뭐네 메더래.
문 메토라시.
아, 네.
다 매우지다 가나 아니 내 남시기 때 그런 단 중앙 쭉 님에 와서 요 말에서 배션들라 그랬어. 시다 이거 뭐 가리지만 나 40밀리언 주가 남광가 중앙가면은 잘라도 도도도도해서 말아.
So you need that energy, So the like everything, has built up with the four elements, right? The earth, water, then fire and wind. So you need all that, for like the plants, So the plants they need all that, and then on top of that, we talk about 6 elements, like on top of the 4 elements, the general one. Then we have the space and soul, space and consciousness, right? So space and consciousness and element, So these plants, they have the 5 elements. They have the 5 elements. In order to grow, it has to have all those 4 elements. On top of that, it has to have the space element, right? Without the space, it will not be able to grow. But it doesn't have the consciousness. So we say in Buddhism, we say like so. Then because it grows, you can say it has a life. It can come to the end. It can grow. It can be born. It can die. So there's a life there, but there's no soul, no consciousness.
오케이. 다 너도 파트케이시 그래 봐. 다 지나서 기지다 저도 갈라. 너도
Do they
파트케이시.
communicate with each other?
Do they communicate with each other?
Yeah.
야.
Some people say they do.
단 테리바게 되겠네. 가니 계시 그랬어.
How do they communicate? 다 파지 대화체 그래서. 대화체. 다 계절랑 시험은 가는 시험도 말해. 대화체 그래 파지.
They don't know because they say in forests there'll be a
They
virus
talk,
starting here,
yeah.
and then by the end, this side of the forest has immunity.
야, 대락도
They
왔어.
say
야, this
pheromones
correct.
and things, but they don't know. They
나도 남배 추나라야 계셔 계셔요 말했어.
They can communicate via
Yeah.
roots and other fibers.
How you said roots?
Roots, the root systems underground, they travel.
Yeah, yeah.
They travel and wrap themselves around and
Okay,
break.
now I have another example, guys. Okay. Here the little bit hill here. The tree is here.
Heat.
Okay. Hill, little hill.
Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
High altitude.
This side's no water. They have some river going. Then where the bottom's what you call? Because it's
The
not
roots.
water.
Where's the roots going to go?
This
Towards
side,
the water? On this side is a hill, that side is the water. Where is it going to go?
The water.
Towards the water.
Karcheneres.
Why?
Kuhagoira, kuhagoira.
It sense the moisture of the ground.
그거 하고 와서 그거 초통 거였어.
도개래 돼.
So this is the water? The roots senses the water?
No?
Is it? It senses the water?
Everywhere, but only the roots that get to the water actually thrive and the other ones don't.
야. 가르쳐나 대코르도 종하고 니바로 와서 그 나도 남배지는 거 kelem 말 코케셔야 돼. 코하고 그런 종하고 니바 임바인다 종하고 니바 그런 다 척 니바도 코랑 니바 니가 그런 봐도 서로 뚜경 거를 봤어.
So of course in Buddhism we don't say about communication or talking to each other. You know, they don't talk to each other, but it's through the power of the element. You know, the element of the water that makes that helps the root of the tree to come towards that or to grow towards that. It's the power of the element
다
Does
먼저
it grow towards that?
어?
Does a root then grow towards water?
towards water.
예. 가르다 대출로 줬다 코 띠에 벤 처마라고 이러 봤어. 처마라 코 텔레야 용 거였어.
Yeah, so because and like she said, it grows through all, but then it thrives more because it grows better. That way, it doesn't die, and then it can keep on growing. Because it gets the energy or the water, or whatever you call it. It gets that, and for it to grow, so that's why it keeps growing on that.
자 디그 그거 굽되면 그 천을 두고다는 그 니바디가 사 코랑 차상에 출제도 그러고. 그 니바가 텐데 뭐그 학원에 내가 체키네 이게 누구 선거에 말아 봤어.
So then, when that root, which goes towards the water, when it gets the water from that, from when the tree gets the water, then that root, feeds the water to the whole tree, right?
It tells all the other roots, go to the water.
Yeah.
So then it doesn't think, oh, okay, I'm going to get a water for this tree. I'm going to pump water to the tree. Like, it doesn't think like that. It's just through the power of the element. It happens like that. It
다
happens.
나도 벤에 계셔도 왔어. 나도 빼셔나 지나 계셔나 계랭 말했어. 가르나 이게 난 종원 축 아니 롱 축에 감라야 아니 롱 신축도 아니 로마가 나야 가지 종원 축에 거네 가지 떤 그러고 깨 잡서가 나다 깨 나도 깨니 잡으면 되는데 나다 신도 깨 시간도 생각도 다니 자기 그랬어. 인제도 안에 그런 건 종원 티는 종원 롱 축에 아니 신도 깨 담을 자연 그랬어.
So they make a noise, the trees through the wind, right? They make, and people say, oh, they're talking to each other, but it's like through the power, of the element, wind. Then they, when it is changed by the wind, and then they make these noises. Then people think they're talking, but it's not really the talking. It's through the power of the element.
나도 배위를야 배위 나라야 보시데 모시데 신라 보모도 열었어 다니 열.
So in also Tibetan, I mean, 나보다 말하더라.
시다 나못 말하시다.
So not necessarily Buddhism, but in Tibetan tradition, there's like recognizing the wood, the wood. So this is a female wood, this is a male wood. Do you have that here? No? Male wood, female wood.
어떤 데서 땅가도 텔레비에서나 간지 남반이가 아니 뭐나 신도들이야 아니 그리고 체요래서 체세도 그 뒤져러 봤어. 그것도 뒤져는데 봐 땡에다 그 체요래서. 나 쏘요 말했어. 쏘면데 가르서나 남식이 땡지 제외 고점에 받아 요 말했어.
And so we talk about, both the science and Buddhism. we talk about the lifespan, the lifespan of the plants, the trees, right? That's the duration, the duration of the time that it's going to be there for, right? So it grows, and then after some time it dies. So between that time is its life, right? So that's the time it's just talking about. But it doesn't have a consciousness because there's no that wind, to hold consciousness in there in those plants or trees.
저다 내 종왕가 처벌해. 나도 종왕가 처벌해. 나도 저도
So that in the cup, is it established by 4 or 5 elements? Is it true? It came into existence through the power of 5 elements.
된 텔레비 캘랭 그래.
The scientists, do they accept that?
I think so.
through the power of 5 elements. So everything, like this table. all that.
이 제발 가리지 마.
The chemistry within the elements.
야. 그때 가도 남바 쳐 봐. 남벨나 앞에 잘라 가리지 봐. 난 좋아가 그랬어. 좋아가면은
So same with Buddhism. Buddhism also says that for any kind of thing, you need the 5 elements. Without 5 elements, they will not come into existence.
근데 이제 다 아니 다 남실라 가는 뒤가라야 아니 가로 사지면은 저 가로 좋아도 가로
남가다, 남시.
남시 근데 남시기 좋아서 그러면 남시기 니바데 가서 쏘라 아니 매와 인자 아니 나로 쏘마도 아니 시도요 말에 시도도 매와다 컨트롤 쏘요 말에 채요래서.
So that the lifespan, that soul or the energy that we talked about earlier, that holds the mind consciousness. So because the plants don't have that, therefore, therefore it doesn't have all those 6 elements. So only have the 5 elements. The consciousness, it doesn't hold a consciousness. So therefore, it's not a being. It's not a sentient being, right? It has a life, but it's not a sentient being.
근데 다 단계 간조 아니 속 something 롱지다 다대 롱들라 식당 롱담마라 못 봤는데 롱이도 지도서야 다 롱 소소 작금들에 롱담마라 못 보는 거예요.
So when we talk about those that wind, we talked about earlier, and the 4 different kind of there's different level of winds. So there's the gross, the subtle, the wind that holds the life, the wind that holds the consciousness, all these kind of wind. So that and then also we talked about the wind or the breath, like the 21,000 times that we breathe in a day, like that. Those are all different kind of winds.
근데 다 그냥 딩 로탄데 쇼제 간도 남비 트릭스 남비 샘컴을 배는 로탄이래. 아니 다 단달은 배는 트리바기 배나 레바다 시바도 가샤도요 말와.
And so this is how this is what it's mentioned in the science and Buddhism both about the science of the consciousness or mind or like a brain, right? So we talk in science we talk about brain, and in Buddhism we talk about consciousness. So they can't like really put they can't like separate the mind or consciousness from the brain, right? So of course it has related, it's related the nerve in our brain, right? Yeah. So that in scientists they all talk about the nerves in the brain, right? Is it nerves? Right. The channels, nerves.
The nerve cells.
The nerves, yes,
레바
Can you operate a brain? You can, right?
저자여래.
You can like what's the transplant, right?
Brain transplant?
야. 아니 니 저자여래.
But the heart, yeah, you can transplant the heart.
나도 니 저자여래 왔어.
Yeah.
근데 버기 니도 보물자는 가르쳐줘.
So if you change, the heart, male's heart into the female's heart, what happens? You put a male heart into a female body. Same, doesn't matter. You can do, right?
다 보물 레바데 벌자는 가르쳐. 레바데.
But then can you transplant, like the brain? No. 레바도 제부자야 말이야.
가이나도 why? Do you know why? To complicate it, right? Some of the nerves, all different ones. Yeah, I don't know. This is very interesting, right? 다 근데 제와나 변나 버거. 디와나 다 사이드 등군이 랍초로스. 버거 레바데 보물 레바잖아. 다 보물하지 카타와이나. 당근 레바데 랍초로스.
So if it's possible, right? Say if it's possible per se, if you can transplant the male's brain into the female's head, and then later when she comes up, then she talks about all things just like a male. Then they say, oh yeah, it is. That is the mind. Then you can say that is the mind. It's a female, right? Female body, but talks like a male. Thinks like a male. Yeah.
제가 다 텐디지 요마이나 땅도 남백이 전에 레히자데 곧 주마다나다요 그래서.
Then Buddhism will have to accept that, and say the brain is a mind.
Yeah. So
we say, Buddhism says that that's just like a machine, that's the work, but the mind, is separate from that.
But what you're also saying though is that gender
the pomogi diora, pomogi yawadi, and the subular similar allegors graves, suburamale, similar allegors graves.
이만가도 제가 담보 qabla 포모 예와도 깨는 줄 깨. 담보 단단가도 폴 포제 뭘 못해 포모 따도 여서 말어 봤어. 가와 담보 깰 때는 여기서 봤어. 아니 쉬는 다된가도 다 동서로 해당 이러 봐. 아니 사로 지다 되니 맨마 어때 지라요. 아니 바차 투차 봐지 아니 포모 가시 그래서. 담보 강가 집어로 세도 왔어. 하고 메스. 근데 포도 못해 됐다 시다 난그 셈당 나도 수보 차다가 전에 포모도 자기 이러 봐.
So yeah, I mean, of course it depends on the body also, right? But then it depends on then also the thought, that in the mind, of the male and female, there's a different way of thinking, male thinks in a different way, female thinks in a different way. But it's not like one is good or other is bad. It's not like that, So, but different, right? It's not less but different, less or more, but it's different, And many eons ago, like at the beginning, like in the beginning of the era, when the human beings came into existence. There's no genital difference, It was how they differentiated by the voice, from the throat. So someone who has a deep voice, it's called male. Someone who has the high-pitched voice, and then it's called a female, like that. They didn't have that different genital. They're all the same. Like then maybe it's related with the Adam's apple. So in the Buddhist view, yeah. So and then later after some time, then they came more desires came up, and then they had the sexual desire, and then the genitals grow, and then then after that that's then okay, from there now this is male, this is female. That the differentiation of the male and female came from that, like also. So before that there was not like that.
담보가 조방가도 다이 말치래요. 사이에 상관없이 사드지 나올 때는 아니 주번을 다 실로그 칼라 라반도에다 다뭐 조바도 맞더란 그래서.
So before you didn't have to eat, you didn't have to eat at all. Right? So then you didn't have to poop. You didn't have to eat. You didn't have to go to the bathroom, right? No bathrooms. So very easy life. You didn't have to build 1 or 2 bathrooms in the house. So you didn't have to eat and you didn't have to go to bathroom. Then somebody found something and then they said, "Oh, that looks very good," and then they licked it and they said, "Oh, it tastes good," and then they ate it. Now what happens? It builds a waste inside. Now where did it come from? It has to have some place to come out, right? And then it then the lower orifice formed like that. So that's how it happened.
So just to clarify.
Evaluation.
Gender preceded sexual reproduction.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, genitals are,
Oh,
biologically speaking, like gametes, or the gonads that produce the gametes, that produce the sperm and the egg.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people present day think that gender came about from the anatomical sexual reproductive organs and other components.
Mm-hmm.
So what you just described about gender differentiation being based on voice means that it preceded anatomical sexual reproduction.
Yeah,
so before there was no womb, no birth from womb. Human beings are born just like that, miraculously. It was all miraculous birth. So you didn't need an egg or you didn't need a sperm. You were just born, pop like that. You have created karma to be born as a human being. You're just born. You don't have to go through the pregnancy, all these things. Yeah. So it's just the karma, a revolution of karma. So that happened like that.
뒤주마다 당 가오게 통모사 아니 잘라서 작업하니 강가 다송 차송어라서
So the people, human beings created, nobody said, okay, you're going to be women or you're going to be man, and you're going to have sperm in your body, and you're going to have egg in your body. Like nobody said like that. So it's just through the people's own karma, from their own desire, and then it happened like that. And you can't explain why exactly what karma, so only Buddha can say that.
나도서 담보 좋아자 담보 넘리되게 추려도 추장자 추무지 말스 아니 전에 라바래 아니 라바가 지금 괜히로 지다 지금 대두두두두두두두두두 아니 사차다 나도 넘리 차다 무시했어 하고
So then like in Buddhism the Abhidhamma Kosha, it explains about how the earth formed. Before it was just like water, there was nothing, no earth at all. only water, no, the solid grounds, only water. And then there was a big wind, and then it churned and churned and churned and churned. And then from there, like, when you churn the butter and the milk, what happens? A butter comes like a solid, right? Just like that. And then the earth, from the particles, when you churn, all the particles come together, and then it formed the earth like that.
아니 티가 나더니 다 네 레지 온 거, 지체가 다 메시지 소셜 지체 버렸어.
And then on top of that, then because of the people's karma, the people are born on that earth, and they were like born miraculous birth, like they didn't have to go through the pregnancy and things, they're just born like that.
Is the Buddhist view?
Yeah, this is Buddhist view. Yeah.
Where did we learn about? Where can you learn about?
Abhidhamma Kosha, like it's like a phenomenology, Buddhist phenomenology.
Yeah. Then,
Are you mentioning a specific text?
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
the
yes.
Buddhist.
The text?
It's called Abhidharma Kosha.
Abhidhamma Kosha?
Yeah, it's a phenomenology, in a text on phenomenology, and how things are formed
Kambada loyini.
by Vasubandhu.
Oh, Vasubandhu.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, these are two different views, like what science says how humans evolved and what.
Yeah.
You're not gonna find archaeological record of that kind of person.
No.
People dig, and you're not,
Too long, yeah.
Australopithecus, I mean, we're saying human is ape-like creature.
Uh-huh.
And there's archaeology for that, but there's no archaeology that would.
너무 띄우려서 그런
Buddhist
거더라.
views, so how do you
Yeah.
reconcile these?
야, 쇼실레네 가도 배배미데 미강을 배배미데 띄워들라 그러거든. 미강을 하고 면 가도 배와대 애니 지가 파트가 쇼셔서 마크로 잡세 마셔.
자세마.
자세 마세. 근데 동네서로 시도 되게 지원을 그랬어.
Yeah, there's a saying that, I mean, maybe it's only Tibetans. They say, not all the people, but Tibetans are born, Tibetans are, what's it? Evolved from the monkeys, So monkey, apes,
All humans, supposedly, not.
No, only Tibetans.
They 가도 라 그랬어.
This Tibetans said that, but of
Yeah, I
course.
don't know. All the people say they're only Tibetan. I don't know.
Well, that Buddhist view you explained is almost much more like the Bible. It says Adam and Eve,
Yeah.
fruit, and then they became, all the powerful humans. So,
Yeah.
I mean, those two are actually more similar
Yeah,
than
that's-
Western science. So it's
Very
like
similar,
how
yeah.
you-
That is very true.
There's a lot of similarity in.
그래, 나 이슈 나올라도 있어야죠. Adam's apple 세죠. 딱 근데 신도지, 신도 사 되는 반 되는 차밖에 되는 부모님도 대화치 되는 부엌에 되는 차라.
Yeah, that's exactly yeah. 그래서 또 가서 파트너 강가 집어주고 여행도 왔었다.
So they had an apple, and then they ate the apple, and then they had more desire. Is it or how?
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
남들라나 아니 담보 사이다 그랬어. 사다다 그러는다 그러면이 이거 되게 좋아 그랬어. 근데 마음이 올라서 뛰어 그랬어. 근데 뛰어서 말다 어떤 내가 뭐 가시게 변데 잡아지네. 담보 드린 사이드사 다 가시겠던 아타가 산이 사이 공도 식 싸 그랬어. 근데 나니다. 근데 다네 사이드는 게 있어. 근데 두지 소소 다 써서 말라 그랬어.
And then what do you call that? Unharvested crops. You have heard about that. And in the text, of course, not in reality, but in the text it explains. So, at the beginning of the era, the crops they just grow. You didn't have to grow. You don't have to sow the seed. You didn't have to harvest it. Just unharvested the crops. So it's there, already there. And then they started to eat. You can just go and eat. And then later they say, oh, I need to maybe save for tomorrow. And it's already there, but it's still, that desirous mind, things, or a greedy mind, and so I need to save for tomorrow. Then they start to save. And then they start, oh, this is mine now. And then they started dividing, and this is mine. And then they all took, labeled it as theirs. And then after that, then the merits are exhausted. Then now it doesn't grow by itself, so now you have to plant it.
그래서 다 가서 대 까와 동문 못들 다 되네 마마마마 다 다나가도 셀로 찌와 그리고 셀로 자와라 그랬어 다 맞추주 셀로 찌와도 도와래 셀로 찌와데 로뭐 갱고 다 다들 로 자가 세대 로 찌대 그랬어.
So the first era, so they said that during the first era, human beings live up to 84,000 years, 84,000 years. 84,000 years at that time. And then that lifespan decreased. Now it's 100 years. From 84,000 to 100 years. And it will still decrease down to like the 10. So at that time, the longest lifespan people will live will be only 10 years.
다 되네 엔다 가도 까wan 지거다 안에 매드 치치스 루마들 매 담보 매드 바 그랬어.
대보던 것도 저물은 개차가 말아.
아.
대보던 것도
대마 차가 말해. 다 대마바 차가 말했어.
당간도 민도 직다데 두전 턴다 뭐부터 속을 때때 zamul zam에 속을 세야죠.
딱 가서라는데 그 걔네들 막 되는 거 믹스인 대시도 개요 마스 간지 매 둔바 그래서 간지 미기 레 조와데 매 둔바 그래서 니마 둔샤니 매 바 그래서 아니 매 둔바네 아니 샤와다 아니 네 치치겠다 다나네 되는 치친 벌레 쳐디 개로라는 단 담블 지로 그래서
그래 달라된 롱게 되는 여러 뭐 롱게
매도 치친
롱게 가서 바퀴로 그랬어.
롱게 다 대나는 저거도 간지 한 누만이 밤에 와자는 그래서 다 뒤걸에 매든 바고 걸어야 아니 지 레야 부사샤드네나 아니 자와샤 먹고 실래야 받게로야 다 링시 받을 게로 그래서
And so, it is said that then after that, the people's lifespan will be only 10 years old, and the people's body will be much smaller. And then at that time, Buddha Maitreya will come. Buddha Maitreya will come, and then he will have a very handsome body, tall, handsome body, and then people all look up to him. And at that time, of course, delusions will overpower the people, and then they will be like always like fighting with each other, harming each other all the time. And then Buddha Maitreya will come and they see him all this, and then they will ask, oh wow, you look very good, and what did you do to have such a handsome body? And then he will explain Dharma, and then they start to practice Dharma, like that. And so, anyway, it said that after that, then the world, will come to end, and so there will be like the sun, 7 suns will rise. Now that one sun will create so much heat, right? So imagine how much heat there will be if there is like 7 suns, right? And when the 7 suns rise, then it will be so hot that the whole thing will be burnt, it all will turn into ashes. And then the big wind will come and then blow the ashes in the space, and then that's the end of the world.
end of the world.
So, you don't have to worry until then, that this world will come and end. So all the worries that we have, so such and such countries, making this nuclear weapon, and that will bring the world to the end. No, you don't have to worry about. No, just kidding. Maybe you don't have to worry. I know when this is right. So you don't have to worry about if according to Buddhists, But this is again only in the text, to explain like that. The same text that you read over
Yeah.
The same text, which explains about the Mount Meru and all this, and then His Holiness says no, there's no Mount Meru and like that. So I don't know how much we can believe in that.
It's the same book with the Abhidharma.
아비다바 코자 그 때문에 남백 들키다 돼 자대요.
So yeah, that's like the Buddhist science phenomenology.
그다음 남조변에 경험 방도 온보 담보 가든 간에 지금 뒤줄을 가든 지금 파 가든 간에 가고 강한 요리 돼 버. 나 수다도로 미시도 가든 간에 지금.
Yeah, so when we're born, when we come, when we are conceived, like our bodies will start to form in the womb, right? Or what comes first, and which of the organ, which senses will be formed first, and then all this explained. All this is explained in that text.
아니 저 부지 변화 파마제 다 부지거나 부지와라 알레 마쇼나 가리고 파쇼나 가리고 뒤져 가리고 또 찾아 빼잖아 요.
So it explains also about when the child is conceived, what kind of things that's needed from the mother's side, what kind of things needed from the father's side, how much time, and all these things is explained in that.
그래서 나니 군두고 변은 드리버라 단다 많이 라고서 계시 돼서 말이나 파만 얘기 될 쯤에 와이나 아니 냠도 되거나 부지 집에 작으려서 군도 군도 대 작은 말을 나서 대자 군도다 디 잡로라 디 셴바지 창고 같은 것도 제 셴바지 창고 대 시작이 그래서 다 제제마 가다 남도 다 레기 좀 그래서.
So then there was like the mind and science conference with His Holiness Dalai Lama, with the other scientists, and then like if everything is correct, everything is good from the father's side, from the mother's side, will it have a baby? Not necessary, right? Then the scientists say no, it's not necessary. So yeah, everything the fathers from father's side looks everything good, mother's side everything looks good, but then still they're not having baby. Why? They all have this question. So that's what is missing in the science. They are not able to find out that. And so Buddhism explains about all this karma and consciousness and having to enter into that and all these things.
Okay. Okay, now we stop. This is interesting, It's sometimes, this like usually Buddhism explain everything, like this is a danger. Yeah, danger. Yeah, 220 volumes. Everything inside that. Because this is a commentary for the Kanjurs. The written by the 17 Pentateuch, all that you see. Bajabandhu, Nagarjuna, they all there. They all come from India. Therefore, there are so many, like similar in science, daily things, But also Buddhism more explaining for the mind. Okay? Okay, thank you. Now we stop.
So next time we'll talk about the how it enters into the womb, how the consciousness enters the womb.
Okay, thank you.
Turn to page 39 of the prayer book, please. Saji Peki Jun Shin Me To Tram Ri Rab Ling Ji Ni De Gem Pa Di Sangye Jing Du Pe Te Uwa Ki Dru Ko Nam Da Jing La Cho Par Sho Jesu La Me Ko Che Rab Ten Jing Nam Ka Trin Le Cho Tu Ge Pa Dang Lo San Tempe Dru Me Sab Sum Ki Dro We Mun Zel Ta Tu Ne Gur Shi Idam Guru Radha Mandala Kam Niryatayami. From my two collections, vast as space, that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings. With the points of the path as I have discerned them, may I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded course to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children, may all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig remain in life till samsara's end. Tong Ni Ning Je Zung Du Ju Pe Lam Che Che Sa Se Gang Chen Ten Dru Gun Cha Na Pe Mo Ten Sin Gyatso La So Adib So Je Dun Lun Through Show. Page 49. Short, long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Tup Sung Chang Sing Gong Gong Ge Wei Ten Sin Gong Pa Jongsum kurwele montudru padazotu jegundu zapten show. Your form embodies all Buddhas. Your nature is that of Vajradhara. You are the root of the three jewels. Homage to you, O Gurus. In short, I seek your blessings, O Protector, to be cared for by you from birth unremittingly throughout all my lives, and thus to become your chief disciple, holding every secret of your body, speech, and mind. O Protector, please grant that all be auspicious for me to be foremost among the circle of disciples wherever you manifest Buddhahood, so that all my temporal and ultimate wishes, without exception, may be effortlessly and spontaneously fulfilled. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Furthermore, in life after life, may I, pleasing him in return, be forever fostered by an accomplished Mahayana spiritual master, the source of every virtue of this world and beyond. In his care, may I acquire in him a firm, unshakable faith, pleasing him by every means possible, doing nothing even for an instant to disappoint. May my spiritual master impart to me every instruction and every teaching in its entirety. Having understood them closely, may I practice them and be able to bring them to perfection. May I never even for a moment fall under the sway of malevolent teachers and misleading friends. Having developed in every life belief in cause and effect, renunciation, the Bodhi mind, and the pure view, may I embark upon them continually with effortless experience. In every life, may every virtuous act, gathered by way of body, speech, and mind, be causes solely for the welfare of others and for the purest and highest enlightenment. Page 57. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. And we'll end with Mixum on page 75. Mig med se wei te chen chen rei zig dri me ken pei wang po jam pel yang gang chen ke pe su gen Tsongkhapa lo san dra pe jabla so dev. Thank you, Geshe.
Oh, thank you, Geshe. Thank you very much, Jangchub. Thank you, Geshe. Quick thing, thank you again, everyone, for whoever helped with Geshe's wonderful birthday party. I think we all enjoyed it. It was beautiful, and it was just a lovely day last week, and the weather played along. It was lovely. So the next big thing coming up is Sakadawa celebration. That is going to be on June 8th. So I'll put in this week. For the coming week, we'll just put to save the date so people are aware of that. Just like the previous years, we'll be reading in the afternoon, roughly 2 hours, with wonderful collection of spiritual leaders that will be here, and songs and dances and all that. So please join for that, and then later in the year we've got Ling Rinpoche coming. So just keep an eye on this week, and that's it. If you have any questions, stop by, and please help with cleanup, and look on the board. We've got the offerings of service. I don't know if there's anything left there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Jangchub.